congressional history. Cantor fell to Tea Party challenger David Brat, whose campaign accused Cantor of being insufficiently right-wing. Cantor conceded the race before supporters Tuesday night.
There's a lot of long faces here tonight, and it's disappointing, sure. But I believe in this country. I believe there's opportunity around the next corner for all of us. So I look forward to continuing to fight with all of you for the things that we believe in, for the conservative cause, because those solutions of ours are the answer to the problems that so many people are facing today.
The House's second most powerful Republican, Cantor's defeat could upend Republican politics while further endangering congressional passage of immigration reform. Brat ran on a staunch anti-immigrant platform, citing Cantor's mild support for a version of the DREAM Act. It's the first time a House Majority Leader has lost a primary since the position was created in 1899. In the night's other key primary, Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina easily defeated 6 challengers to seek a new term this fall. We'll have more on Eric Cantor's defeat after headlines. A student has been killed and a teacher wounded in a high school shooting in Oregon that also left the gunman dead. A former student entered Reynolds High School and opened fire before turning the gun on himself. 2 students described the moments after the shots rang out.
We just saw people running everywhere, like people screaming. We didn't know what was going on, and we just all went to the back of the classroom. We were all scared.
I heard gunshots, and then at first I thought it was just a joke of someone playing firecrackers, and then they started telling us all to get down, and then we all got serious and we went to lockdown.
The student victim was identified as Emilio Hoffman, a 14-year-old freshman. It was at least the 74th school shooting in the U.S. since the Newtown massacre that left 26 people dead December 2012. Speaking at the White House, President Obama urged a national soul-searching on gun control. He also called congressional inaction a source of shame.
It's not the only country that has psychosis. And yet, we kill each other in these mass shootings at rates that are exponentially higher than any place else. The country has to do some soul searching about this. This is becoming the norm, and we take it for granted in ways that, as a parent, are terrifying to me. And I am prepared to work with anybody, including responsible sportsmen and gun owners, to craft some solutions. But right now, it's not even possible to get even the mildest restrictions through Congress, and that's we should be ashamed of that.
Amidst a spate of deadly shootings, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid says the Senate could revive a vote on the failed effort to expand background checks and ban assault rifles. The measure was introduced after the Newtown massacre but collapsed in the Senate a year ago this April. An estimated 500,000 people have fled Iraq's second largest city following its capture by al-Qaeda militants. The Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant seized Mosul with a sweeping attack on the city's airport, TV stations, government buildings, and prisons, setting over 2,000 prisoners free. The capture of Mosul expands the group's western stronghold after taking Fallujah and parts of Ramadi earlier this year. Iraqi Prime Minister Nouri al-Maliki has declared a national state of emergency. The Iraqi government has struggled to contain spiraling internal violence since the departure of U.S. troops in 2011. The conflict between Sunni militants, the Shia-led government, is an outgrowth of the 2003 U.S. invasion, which helped spark a civil war. In Washington, White House spokesperson Josh Earnest said the U.S. supports the Iraqi government, but called on Baghdad to do more to address political grievances.
These kinds of challenges don't have a solely military solution. So while we can provide important military assistance to improve the security situation in Iraq, addressing these challenges is going to require a commitment by the Iraqi leadership, including Prime Minister Maliki, to confront the kinds of unresolved issues that are facing all of the people in Iraq.
The bipartisan standoff over the prisoner swap that freed American soldier Bo Bergdahl in exchange for 5 Taliban prisoners continues to grow. On Tuesday, the White House held another congressional briefing to explain the Bergdahl deal, but several Republicans continued to lash out, with Senator Jeff Sessions of Alabama calling the prisoner exchange, quote, demoralizing. The Republican-controlled House Armed Services Committee will begin an inquiry into the prisoner swap today. Critics fear another Benghazi-type partisan probe. The House Appropriations Committee, meanwhile, has approved a measure that would ban the use of federal money to transfer prisoners out of Guantanamo Bay. At the Pentagon, military spokesperson John Kirby said Bergdahl continues to improve, but remains mentally unprepared to return home after years in captivity.
We're told that his health continues to improve and that he is engaging with hospital staff more and more each day. All that is promising, and the Secretary is certainly relieved to hear it. But this is going to be a long process, and nobody is going to push it any further or any faster than Sergeant Bergdahl and his caregivers are willing to take it. This soldier was held captive for nearly 5 years in what we must assume were harsh conditions. He's going to need time to reassimilate, time to heal mentally and physically. The Secretary has made it clear that our first priority is giving him and his family that critical time and space.
Bergdahl told officials last week Taliban captors tortured him and kept him in a cage after he tried to escape. A California court has struck down a series of laws that grant tenure and other protections to public school teachers. In a potentially far-reaching decision, the California Superior Court said state law makes it too easy for low-performing teachers to keep their jobs. The education reform group, Students Matter, had sued on behalf of 9 students, arguing protections for subpar teachers disproportionately impact children of color and from low-income families. Outside the courthouse, teacher union officials said they're being unfairly targeted for the consequences of underfunded public education.
All of my 22 years of teaching in South Los Angeles, never was there a student who had a barrier thrown up in front of them because teachers had a right to a hearing, or teachers had due process, or teachers had seniority.
We're deeply disappointed with the decision that happened today. You see, they highlighted all the wrong problems, they looked to the wrong processes, and they looked for the wrong solutions.
The California ruling has been stayed pending a union appeal. And a top official at the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency has been removed amidst accusations of failing to investigate abuses and deadly shootings by agents on the Mexican border. James Tomczak was replaced as the CBP's head of internal affairs following a wave of shootings by agents that have killed 28 people since 2010. The victims include at least 6 Mexican nationals killed on the Mexican side of the border. Hundreds of immigrants have filed complaints over alleged abuses, but just 14 cases have led to disciplinary action. A report by law enforcement experts earlier this year criticized the Border Patrol's, quote, lack of diligence in investigations. Mark Morgan, the FBI's Deputy Assistant Director for Inspections, will replace Tomczak on an interim basis. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Nermeen Sheikh. Welcome to our listeners and viewers around the country and around the world. House Majority Leader Eric Cantor has lost Virginia's Republican primary in one of the most stunning upsets in congressional history. Cantor fell to Tea Party challenger David Brandt, whose campaign
Cantor's defeat could upend Republican politics while further endangering the prospects for immigration reform. Brandt ran on a strategy of the immigrant platform, citing Cantor's mild version of the DREAM Act. Although his opponent painted him as a moderate, Cantor has played a key role in the Republican effort to thwart President Obama's agenda, from health care reform to last year's government shutdown. For more, we're joined by John Nichols, the Washington correspondent for The Nation. His political headline, Eric Cantor loses to a conservative who runs crony capitalism. John is joining us by Democracy Now! From Madison, Wisconsin. Back to Democracy Now! Let's see.